Oh, hello everybody. Welcome to the Wiener Boy Podcast, episode 3. You know what? Episode 3, that's not bad. That's not bad considering I had podcasts previous to this which were Fortnite gameplays and I commentated over it, or also even before that was Call of Duty. Or also even before that, on this channel, if you go really far back like fall of 2016, I had the series idea called Vlogs, VLOG, like 3 Z's at the end, I think. And basically what that was, it was me like vlogging, but it was more like just a daily update on my life. But not, well, that's what a vlog is. But this is more like just 5 minutes, and I just kind of say what's going on. Or I have a topic and I just talk about it for 5 minutes, but I would do it every day. And I think that was a pretty, I kind of like that idea, because I don't like vlogs in the way that a lot of people vlog them, where it's just like taking you through your daily routine and it's like, okay guys, now we're going to go grocery shopping. And then you say, I'll catch you inside. And then they cut, and then you find them and they're inside and they're grocery shopping. And they'll be like, okay, we're done grocery shopping. Now we're going to go to the park. And then they go to the park. But then they had ice cream that they bought. So then the main conflict is they're having a really good time at the park, but then they have ice cream in the car and they're like, oh no, we got to go all the way back there. And then maybe they have 3 kids, 2 girls and a boy. And the boy just had his colon removed. So he's kind of like going outside for the first time. But then he wants to stay because he hasn't been outside in a long time. And the parents, it's good to see him smile. Because, I mean, having your colon removed, I don't even know if that's actually possible to just not have a colon. Where does the poop go? So, anyway, he's kind of just there, and he's having a really good time, and the parents are happy for him. So, I mean, it's kind of like ice cream on one hand, your child's happiness on the other. But then the 2 girls, they're really young, so they don't really understand the ramifications, and they want to go home and eat ice cream. So it's like, who's more important? And so then eventually they go home. The child, he understands, and they eat ice cream. That's a very specific vlog instance, which I've never actually seen. I kind of made all of that up, but I could see it happening. And anyway, that's actually more interesting than what normal vlogs are. Normal vlogs don't really have a conflict, which is kind of why I don't like them. But then I didn't have a conflict either. I was just kind of talking. Okay. I'm not very good at this, am I? You're supposed to have a story, is what I'm trying to get at. And I've noticed that a lot of vlogs don't really do that. That's why I really like Casey Neistat, because his vlogs actually had a story. And the conflict isn't just something that you kind of make up and then you just like leave it. Because I was watching for research purposes. I was watching one of those Instagram people, I don't remember who it was, one of their comedy videos. And it was like the conflict was brought up in the beginning that they had a project. They had like some homework to do. But then they kind of just like, they got sidetracked, and it was still hanging in the background like, oh yeah, we still have to do this homework. But then a new conflict came up, and it was like they had a rival high school that they had to compete with. And then they kind of competed with them, but they didn't really explain what happened with the homework assignment, and then the video ended. And I was like, what? But it got millions of views, so who cares about conflict? Okay, what do I want to talk about today? Yet again, for those of you joining, this is the 3rd episode, and in the first 2 episodes, I have both times explained how I always forget to write down my notes. But it is at the same time a conscious decision, because I don't feel like writing down notes because I want to be genuine. Like the rapper. So I did that again. But something I was thinking about was my last year. Because recently we had the college that I attended, it was the graduation for the class of 2018. And for those of you who didn't know, I actually graduated a year early from college. So I should have been class of 2018. I don't know if I technically was, but I graduated 2017 anyway. So a lot of my friends, they did the thing where they post pictures on Facebook and it's like in their cap and gown and they're like, deuces, way out, time for the real world. And then I was thinking, wow, I didn't do that. I actually only took one picture at my graduation. And it wasn't even at the graduation, it was before. And it's me standing in front. If you remember my old setup in the apartment, I had a whiteboard above my right shoulder. And I would write, that's like where I did my homework. And I would just draw graphs for economics and that. So the only picture, and I don't even know where it is me with a really stupid face in front of that whiteboard going like, and I don't know where it is. So I have no memories kept in physical format of like a photograph or even a video to show that day. Actually, you know what would be funny? I live tweeted it. I'm in front of my computer, so I'm going to go back. It's about a year. I want to read what I tweeted. I don't think anyone like actually. Oh dang, this is gonna take a while. Why do I tweet so much garbage? And by garbage I mean it's just my videos. This is gonna take a while, but I think it'll be funny. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about was how much my life has changed in 1 year, because it's kind of been intense. Wow, these are all just, who would follow my Twitter? Actually, no, please follow my Twitter. I only have like 200 followers. I'm trying to get my clout game up so then I can slide into people's DMs. But someone else tweeted like I don't know if it was I think it was a tweet. And it's like, it's crazy how much your life can change in 1 year. And normally for those kind of tweets, I'm just like, yeah, duh. It's a stupid tweet. But then I thought about it. I'm like, actually, you know what? It's kind of wild. And what I'm getting at is, in the past year, I've actually had 3 jobs. And before that, I had never had a single job in my life. Like I did yard work about 4 years ago with some friends over the summer. I'm only in September, guys. I'm still scrolling back. So I did yard work. And I made, like, I remember I made $60 for one day. And I was like, holy crap, $60 is intense. And then $60 actually isn't that much. But when you're a kid, it's kind of like, dog, I just made so much money. Okay, we're in June. We're almost there. Oh, this is funny. The reason this is taking so long is because it has all my, whenever I upload a video, it shows I did one of those upload things. We're in June and it's like team of the season Salah. Imagine if you're Mo Salah right now. Imagine his year in review. Yeah, I was playing for I was playing for the 4th largest club in Italy. What? Oh, give me a break. Okay, thank you. I got to June and then it's like, this is taking too long. Sorry. Okay, we're in May. I don't know when it was. May 16th? It was Mother's Day, I'm pretty sure. Mother's Okay, here we go. Yes, I found it. May 14, 2017. I don't know if I'll put these on the screen or I might just read them out. May 14, 2017. They don't show the timestamps, but I wrote, as part of my 1,000 subscriber special, I will live tweet for my college graduation with the hashtag colleged. Colleged? Really? That's what I came up with. Colleged. I only had 1,000 subscribers. I gained 6,000 subscribers in 1 year. That's not really that much if you're Jake Paul, Logan Paul. I need a post. But for me, that's pretty good. And it's just because I started doing play reviews. So I wrote that. Then I wrote, the most interesting thing to happen so far has to be the guy who just smoked a joint next to me in line. Hashtag college. That, I remember that. I'm pretty sure it was a joint. I don't know. He had a huge beard. He was a white dude with sunglasses. He had this other white guy they're both really tall and they just kind of look like stoner bros. And we were all in a giant line walking into the stadium. We were outside the stadium. We had to go inside the football stadium. And he just pulls out a joint and puffs it and like smoke goes everywhere. And on all the people around me, I think they might have been drunk. People were drinking at that. They were all like, whoa, 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 he just smoked marijuana. And I was like, yeah, that's not normal. All right, so I wrote that. Then I said, watching some people try to figure out how to get in line makes me question the authenticity of this degree. #colleged. I mean, yeah. The school I went to is considered like a really good school in the United States, especially for a public school. But those people just seem dumb. I mean, people like maybe they just didn't care, or maybe they were drunk, or maybe they were high. Oh, that was such a bad voice crack. I need some Sprite. This is not sponsored. It also is empty. But they were just kind of like stumbling around, and they'd be like looking around because there was a line, but then they didn't want to wait in line, or they would see their friend and they would like just run up, and then some security guard in yellow who clearly did not get paid enough, he would just kind of be like, hey guys, can you back in the line? And they would be like, oh, sorry, what? Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. And then they wouldn't go anywhere. They would just stay there. The next tweet was, an Orthodox Jewish family just tried to walk through the tunnel with the graduates. The dad just pointed at the sign and said, a sign that said, thanks, Mom. I remember this. Yeah, we were right outside the tunnel. So we were actually pretty close. And this was just the area for the college graduates. It had nothing to do with people who were trying to get in to watch, because we were going onto the actual field. People who wanted to watch, the family, would go to the they would go to the stands. But I remember this Orthodox Jewish family, like the guy has a really long beard. I don't know what you call the thing where like you don't cut your hair over here, so then you have the little extension, and then he had a yarmulke. He was with his wife, I think, and like a really small child, and he was trying to come through the tunnel, and then one of those security guards wearing yellow was like, excuse me, sir, you can't come this way, you have to go into the stands. And then he's like, oh, okay. And I'm pretty sure he spoke English, or maybe he only spoke Hebrew, I don't know, or Yiddish, I don't know. But then he goes, oh, okay. And then he just pointed there, because it was Mother's Day, there were a bunch of signs that said like, thanks, Mom. And he goes, oh, okay. And then he just pointed to the sign that said, thanks, Mom, and walked away. And I'm like, what just happened? Oh, that was funny. Next tweet was, everyone who didn't bring sunglasses should get their degrees taken away. I'm one of those people. #college. That, yeah, it sucked, because it was probably like 85 degrees. We're sitting in the middle of the stadium on the field, so there's no shade or anything, and we're staring directly into the sun. And so I took off my gown because it was really hot. I couldn't see because it was really sunny, and it was overall just a boring experience, and I would not recommend it. This year, actually, when I graduated, it was probably like 85 degrees Fahrenheit. Don't know what that is in Celsius. I'm going to say like 20, 25 degrees, maybe 23 degrees. So pretty hot, pretty toasty. But then this year, it was 96 degrees. So I don't know what that is in Celsius, maybe like 32 or something. Like really hot, like almost kind of dangerous to be out there for that long. Next tweet. Little known fact, if you get spotted by your parents from the crowd, you win $1 million. Just kidding, you don't. #college. I don't know what the point of... I mean, as the actual graduate, I didn't care to be spotted by my parents because I don't really care. But then I've had 3 siblings who have graduated. They're all older than me. And when I was in the stands, the only thing I cared about was trying to find them. And so it was almost like it was a game, and I would take my, whatever it was, a camera. I never brought binoculars, but I would take a camera and I would zoom in really far. So it'd be like one of those shots that you'd see from the FBI when they're following someone. And I'd just be like, I'm a spy. And that was the only interesting thing to happen. So that tweet, I was kind of making fun of people because I'm like, why do you care so much about getting spotted by your parents? But then flipping it around, I would like to spot my child, my graduate. Next Google search. Next tweet. Google search. What is a provost? I still don't know what a provost is. Actually, I kind of want to Google search that. What is a provost? Provost is a senior administrative officer in certain colleges and universities. I don't know what that's not an answer. What does that even mean? Like someone who... Okay, I think like a provost is just a way to get more money. If you have provost as your title, you automatically earn more. Next tweet. Update, the Chancellor is telling us how smart we are and how we have to do things in the future. Oh, and it's hot. Really hot. That was a bad tweet. I'm going to... Some of these tweets... Someone actually liked this. 2 people liked this tweet. And I think they're just being nice to me. Because that was not a funny tweet. That was not really that interesting. Just me kind of complaining. I think the best tweet thus far has been the one about the Orthodox Jewish family. And that actually didn't get any likes. So I don't know how to Twitter. Next tweet. Someone behind me just said they wished we got Steve Harvey as our commencement speaker. #colleged. That was the last one. Wow. That was like halfway through the ceremony. Then I just kind of gave up. That was interesting. Steve Harvey would have been a terrible commencement speaker. He would have actually given us all the degrees, and then he'd be like, actually, I'm sorry, you didn't win the degree. It was everyone else. That was interesting, though, looking back about a year. What else happens here? Oh, I did the Adventure of Higgins. The pilot was a year ago. Wait, what day is it? Whoa, that was like that was almost exactly 1 year ago. And then I don't think I ever did any other stuff. I like that. I think that had potential, but it took a long time to do. Because, like I've said 100 times, it takes about probably 3 to 4 hours to just do a buy or not episode. That Higgins one, filming it, that could take 3 or 4 hours by itself. So then editing that, because it's not all just one continuous clip. You have to like go through different clips. That could take, like one episode could take maybe 2 days. And then I didn't see a really big return because it's not like people are actively searching, or if they see Higgins, the Adventure Begins pilot, people aren't going to click on that. Let's be honest. So I don't know. Return on investment didn't seem that great. Okay, so this the reason I was thinking about a year ago is because this actually Twitter's kind of cool because it shows your timeline, so you can think about it easily. So about a year ago, I graduated. I moved back home into this basement where I am right now. I didn't have this computer. I only had one TV. I had this giant desk, which was nice. I had this chair. I don't know if I set up the green screen yet. I did buy these foam things, which are actually all falling. These are just to help make the noise. Like, that's what you put in a studio to absorb noise so it doesn't reflect off the walls. But, like, I didn't have a lot of stuff. I didn't have this mic. I had a different mic, which I still have somewhere. It's not a bad one. But it was because I didn't have a job at that point, so my income was non-existent. It would come from YouTube. I only had 1,000 subscribers, so that would, I don't know what I was getting per video, probably around like 300 views. So I might have made like $100 my entire life. Now I actually make like $100 about a month, about $100 a month, and I'm not even posting videos every day because they're getting like 5,000 to 6,000 views, which is pretty good. I want to touch back on this, so I need to remember. I'm going to pinch myself to try to remember to talk about that $100. But anyway, I didn't have a lot of this stuff. Then I got a job. I was searching for a job in May. I wanted to get one pretty soon after. And I actually went to, the first job interview I had was at a Belgian restaurant, a Belgian cafe. And that was a stupid interview. That interview sucked. Because it was 45 minutes and they were grilling me on all these questions about like being an assistant manager at a cafe. And I had no experience, but they were looking at my resume and like, oh, you graduated with 2 degrees and a minor and in 3 years from this good school. You must be like smart. And I was like, yeah, I'm smart. I can do things. And they're like, okay, but why do you want to be a manager at a cafe? And to be honest, I didn't. I just wanted to make money, and I was trying to get a job because I was like, I really don't want to be just kind of jobless for months. So anyway, I eventually figured out that interview, and I was able to kind of just ride the wave, so to speak. And I withstood their questions, and they actually liked me, and they wanted me to come back, but it was really far from my house, like 45 minutes. I didn't want the job really that much. I didn't know how much it would even pay, and I was assuming like assistant manager, that might be like $12 an hour. So it wasn't worth it. And so I just like, thank you for the offer. I'm not really interested, or something like that. And then immediately after the job interview, I was like, that was so bad. I didn't think I was gonna get the call back, because I thought they would just not like me because I didn't think I answered the questions that well. So I went to Chick-fil-A because I also saw them on Indeed or whatever job site it was. I was like, maybe I'll just work at Chick-fil-A. So then I walked in. I'm like, hey, can I have a job interview or something? Some girl contacted me. And they're like, oh, yeah, just come back on Wednesdays. We have open interviews. So then I came back on Wednesday. I went in. I had an interview in like 3 minutes. And they really liked me. And then they're like, come back tomorrow. And then I came back the next day. And then they're like, it was another interview with a different person. And they're like, we really like you. And then that next day, they offered me a job. It was $10 an hour. And I was like, sure, I'll take it. So I took my first job ever at Chick-fil-A. I think probably like June 14th. I don't know. No, I don't know the exact date, but it was around June 14th. And that job sucked so much. Easily the worst job I've ever had. The people were nice. Everyone at that place was really nice. It was a really successful Chick-fil-A. But the job itself, like having to just wake up at 5 in the morning. This is what I would have to do in the summer. Wake up at 5 in the morning. I would get there at like 5:55. I would go into a freezer and unpack chicken. Like they had different chicken fillets for the spicy and for all the different sandwiches they made. And I would just have to put it in different places. And this is like a freezer, so it's like 10 degrees. Then I would go into a refrigerator, which was slightly warmer, and unpack like orange juices. And these were really heavy boxes that weighed like 40 pounds. And I'd have to stack that crap. And then basically the job just sucked, but I would have to do it for like from 6 to 2. And I remember my first paycheck, I got $355, and I had worked 2 weeks, and I was sitting there like, I just did all that for $300. Like, I just got $300 for working like 30 hours. What is this? It was probably even more than 30 hours because I was only getting $10 an hour. So yeah, I did that job until, well, I continued doing that until September. I hated it every time because basically my day would be wake up at 5, get there at 6, work until 2, be really tired. Like it was awful. I would come home, be exhausted at 3, fall asleep for like 2 hours, and then I'd have to go to bed again at like 9 just so I could wake up at 5. And I did that until September, and every day it was awful. I really feel bad for myself for having to do that, and I feel bad for people who have to continue to do that for multiple years, unless they really love it. I mean, there were some aspects which were okay, like I like the people who work there, but the job itself was just terrible. So then in September, I was looking for other jobs because I just didn't like it. And I found a job as a server at a restaurant, and it paid $13 an hour. And I was like, $13 an hour plus tips? Holy crap, I'm going to be making bank. It turns out they didn't tip you there, so I only got $13 an hour, which is pretty good. And my plan was to quit Chick-fil-A, but just continue to work at the restaurant and be a server. But the people at Chick-fil-A did not want me to leave because the thing about me is even if I hate a job, I'm just going to work really hard at it just because that's the only way I can do things. Because I'm almost OCD in the fact that I don't like leaving jobs unfinished. So I was pretty good at being a Chick-fil-A worker, but anyway, they didn't want me to leave, and I was like, damn it, I feel bad if I just leave them. So while I was being a server 5 days a week, Monday through Friday were the days that the restaurant was open, I would also work 6 to 2 every Saturday at Chick-fil-A. And that was just so dumb. Why did I do that? I was exhausted. 6 hours, and keep in mind, the entire time I'm still doing like FIFA stuff. Because the entire time I was like, I'm just going to continue doing these little jobs, getting money to help pay for stuff until this FIFA thing blows up or this YouTube thing blows up. So I was basically working like 3 jobs from September till December. And also in the background, I was applying to business schools because I was trying to get into a graduate school because I was like, well, I was trying to put as many nets out, cast as many nets out, see whatever sticks to see what would happen. And I was exhausted, to be honest. And thinking back, I don't know how I did that, because I would work 9 till 3 Monday through Friday, and then actually on Wednesdays I would work 9 to 3 and then 5 to like 9. So kind of ridiculous hours. Then every Saturday 6 to 12 or 6 to 2. And then anytime I wasn't at work, I was trying to do a YouTube video, specifically from, I had actually figured out like a pretty good schedule. So I was able to make YouTube videos every day. Because while it was a lot of hours, but I was still finding time because they weren't really far. The problem now is my job is like an hour away. So 2 hours dedicated solely to driving. I stay at work for like 9 hours. So there's not really enough hours in the day to have a YouTube video every day. Plus, on top of that, I don't love FIFA as much as I used to. So it's kind of less incentivized for me. But I was able to buy this computer that I built in July. And it was like $700, and I took an entire 2 weeks, or I took an entire month's paycheck just to pay for it, which is kind of stupid, but it's a good computer. I'm glad I have it because it made editing a lot easier. I used to have to edit on my MacBook Air, so not even a strong MacBook, and it would take an hour and 30 minutes to render on Premiere Pro. This computer now takes like 15, so a huge difference, and it made my life a whole lot easier. Like if it took an hour 15, I don't know if I'd be able to make as many videos. I probably would have stopped because I was just like, this takes way too long. Yeah, so then in September, from September till December, I was working 2 jobs doing YouTube as well, kind of like 3 jobs almost. But then December came around, and I actually got rejected. I applied to 2 graduate schools, and I got rejected from both on the same day. And I wasn't really surprised, because with business school specifically, you need to have work experience. And the only work experience I had was as a server and as a Chick-fil-A like team member, the lowest on the totem pole. Even though my grades were good and my standardized scores for graduate school were good, I knew that it didn't really matter that much. So then I got rejected from both of those, and I'm like, okay, well, I was kind of using the graduate school thing because that was like, parents were like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm trying to get into graduate school. So then really I could just do YouTube. But then when that left, I was like, oh crap, I might actually need to find a real job other than being at Chick-fil-A and being a server, because I'm not trying to, when I say real job, I'm not trying to put down people who have that as their main job, because those are still important. But for me, looking at it, it's like I invested not hundreds, but tens of thousands of dollars into college, and I'm getting back like, I was probably making around $1,000 a month. Yeah, maybe 1,000 at the most. Wait, no, sorry, that's not right, is it? Wait. No, sorry. I was making like $2,000 a month at the most, more like $1,500 really, due to taxes and stuff and limited hours. So $1,500 a month, that's like, that's barely, that's probably under the poverty line. That's maybe like $16,000 a year, and tuition was like $5,000 a semester. So it just didn't make any sense. So then I quit both of those jobs pretty much on the same day, which I was happy about. And then January came around and I was still looking for jobs, but I kind of was like, all right, this is my chance. I don't know how long it's going to be until I get another job, but this is my chance to go hard on YouTube, and like maybe something happens and it takes off. So I was posting every day, even sometimes like multiple times a day, just trying to get those numbers up. And it did help a lot because I was posting so consistently. But to be honest, I was kind of starting to hate FIFA because I was playing so much. I was playing Weekend League. In February, I actually played every Weekend League game except maybe one. So 159 games played. I got Elite 1, and I got that's when I got I got Inform Ruffier, 87 overall for Elite 1 monthly. And I was like, this is just so stupid. I can't believe I put in all that effort and I get 87 Rufie. That was the best player. And I'm like, all right, yeah, the gameplay is not that fun. You don't get good rewards. What really is the point of playing FIFA? I was still doing the video. I was still playing because I know people like the videos. But then I remember I was sitting down here like doing a video, and then I just happened to check my LinkedIn, which is like a social media website for finding jobs. And I saw that I had some message, like a direct message from this guy who's like, would you be interested in this position as a manager? It's like an account manager for a software company. I was like, sure, I don't know what that means, but sure. And then he called me and he's like asking me all these questions. And then I was kind of interested in the job because I knew software is big. And then he kind of mentioned the salary, which I'm not going to say because I don't want to be like, yeah, I make this much money. But it was a good number, like way higher, astronomically higher than what I was making from 2 other jobs. And I'm like, whoa, really? This is my first real job and you're going to offer me that much? And then I went to the interview because it was through an agency, and he liked me. So then he recommended me to go actually have the interview with the company, and then they liked me, and then they offered me a job, and that's where I am now. And I mean, the people are really nice. I like the job. It's not that difficult. The only bad thing is it's like an hour away due to traffic, so that takes up a lot of time. But I mean, that's just crazy to think that's happened in 1 year. In 1 year, all of that has gone on. And that's not even me mentioning a bunch of other stuff as well. That's just me kind of doing a synopsis of my year. I mean, I'd be interested to know what happened. If you don't have to share it, but if you guys want to, what has happened? What's changed in 1 year? Sometimes it's cool just to think about how much you've grown. And how much I've grown on YouTube as well. Started out May 14th. I was at like 1,000 subscribers. Now I have almost 7,300 or something. I think I have like 7.3K. I've like Fortnite. This is if you're like a Fortnite player, a streamer, how wild is that? A year ago I had no idea I don't even think Fortnite was out. I didn't know who Myth was. I didn't know who any of these players were. I didn't know who Ninja was. And now they have millions of subscribers on YouTube, like millions of followers on Twitter, on Instagram. He played with Drake. That's just really crazy. And honestly, it's hard not to be a little bit jealous because I'm like, damn it, could that have been me? But it's not like a jealousy where I'm like angry. It's more like, wow, that's really cool. I kind of wish that was me. But I'm more happy for them that someone in the community of playing video games and putting on the internet has made it. Because I genuinely like watching TSM. They remind me of it reminds me of early Call of Duty when the people weren't fake on Call of Duty. Like Hutch, C-Nanners, what is that? Mr. Sark. They were just genuinely people who played video games and were fun to watch. And that's what this new wave of Fortnite to me has brought. I don't like all the people like Jake Paul and Logan Paul and Rice Scum who are just kind of playing off of the Fortnite train. It's fine if they like Fortnite because, I mean, it's a fun game. It's fine. Of course they're going to like it. Everyone seems to like it. But then when their videos are like Fortnite in real life and it's just kind of garbage and they keep playing off the whole Fortnite thing, and then you see Logan Paul try to start his own stream and he gets 200,000 people, and I watched it, and I'm not that great at Fortnite anymore. I used to be pretty good because I was playing consistently every day, but then since I got this job, it's cut down, so I'm not as good. But he's like really bad. He's not good at Fortnite, and it's funny because he had 200,000 people because they were like, I wonder if he's actually good. It turns out he's just terrible, and now he gets maybe like 6,000 people every stream. I don't know if he even keeps streaming. Yeah, I don't know. It's just wild to think. Oh, I remember. I pinched myself. I was going to talk about the money that I make on YouTube. So, like I said, the job that I have actually pays pretty well. So on YouTube, every month I make about $100. Then I have in Patreon about $20. So that's $120 every month, which to me, honestly, it's nice to have that money. And for some of you guys who don't make that much money, you might be like, that's a lot of money. And it still is considered a good amount of money for me. But in terms of the value that I receive for it, it's minuscule compared to the money that I'm getting from my main source of income from my job. And so I was the entire time like, what do I do with this money? I've just been saving it. But then I thought, if you don't know, I go to church every Sunday, and we had someone who was talking about it was like a donation and how they use this money to help the poor people in different parts of the world, specifically in South America. And he was telling the story about this like 14-year-old girl who weighed 19 pounds because she just had nothing to eat. And these happen every year where they're like asking for money. And I'd never been in a position to actually give them any money. So I'd just be like, well, I mean, sure, I'd love to help them, but I can't. And now I've actually reached a point where I have money and I have more money. I'm not in debt or anything. It's kind of like I have excessive amounts of money and I'd like to help people. So at the same time, I understand that it's important to save your money. So even though I get a lot of money from my job, I'm not going to go spend it on like cars and fancy clothing and new computer stuff. I only want to spend it on on stuff that I actually need for YouTube, stuff that I need for my life. And that's pretty much it. I'm not going to spend excessively. But I do want to also help poor people, help any charity, help anything like that. So then I thought to myself, well, this would be a perfect way to like find money that you can allocate that's specifically from a source and just give all of that, give 100% to charity. So I think what I've kind of decided is, and I might even put this on the main YouTube channel because the money is coming from the long transaction account, not from extra long transaction. These videos aren't monetized, and not from long transaction Vivo. I'm probably going to give that money that I get from that YouTube channel and from Patreon, and just every month I'll have like a update video, and maybe you guys can choose a charity or something like that, and I'll just have a confirmation of here's me giving the money to this charity. And for some people, they might be like, why do you have to make it a video? Why don't you just do it? And I kind of understand that perspective because I'm not the kind of person who wants to give money and then I'm like, hey guys, look over here. I'm good. I'm a good guy. I don't really care about that. But I know that if you show yourself giving money, it might inspire other people to be like, you know what? I also have excessive amounts of money. Instead of donating it to Logan Paul, who's a millionaire, maybe I could donate to some Saving Children's Fund or something like that. So it's not so much about about me garnering the attention. It's more about the cause garnering attention. And even if I play a minuscule part in that, I think it's important to play. So yeah, if you guys have any ideas as to charities to give that money to, I want to do a charity that has pretty high return rates. Because if you don't know, some charities will take like 25% for administrative costs and then like 5% for marketing. So like only 70% of the money you actually give goes to the point. So I'd like to find something that is pretty good. If you guys have any suggestions, that'd be cool. And yeah, I mean, if you're like, wow, LT's cool, that's great, I'm gonna donate to his Patreon so he can donate this more money. Please don't donate to my Patreon so then I can donate to someone else, because I think some money might get lost in the way there through like transaction fees or something like that. So if you are interested, just please donate directly. You can like donate to the same fund or whatever, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the name of the fund I was thinking about that they were talking about. It was like Catholic Ministries of South America or something like that. But yeah, that'd be cool. And the idea really came from, if you guys are old school YouTube, there was this guy named Kev Jumba, and he made a thing called Jumba Fund, which was a separate channel, and 100% of the money that he got from that channel went to charity. And I thought, wow, that's really cool. He would do a video just showing that it actually was donated. There was like proof. So I think I'm going to follow that idea. And I know I'm probably going to get some guy who's like, you're only doing this for the views. And I'm not. I don't, people in our world through the internet just seem to be really, what's the word? I was gonna say condescending, or oh my gosh, I guess like pessimistic. They always think that there's some ulterior motive, and there doesn't have to be. Like I was genuinely touched when he was doing that. He was the priest was mentioning this story about like this young girl weighed 19 pounds, was only 14 years old. Then via the money that she got that was donated through this organization, she was able to, like, she's now 15 or something, and she's not about to die. And I want to actually help people. I don't want to just make clickbait YouTube videos and get a lot of money from that, and then in like 10 years be like, yeah, I'm a millionaire, but what do I have to show for it? Like, what really have I gained other than just money? I don't know. That's just kind of my thoughts. I'm probably going to end the podcast here. It's been 40 minutes of just straight up fire. Hope you did like it. If you did, drop a like, subscribe if new, comment, share with your friends. Actually, hold on. Stop. I don't know. Do I have time? I want to talk about Fortnite. Okay, I'll save this for a different episode, but I just want to mention quickly, I do like Fortnite. Fortnite's fun, but I don't think I like video games that much, because Fortnite's kind of reached its point where I'm getting actually bored of it. Same thing with FIFA. I was playing FIFA for a long time because just because of the videos. With Fortnite, I've noticed people don't seem to like the videos too much, and for me it's kind of just become oversaturated because you can't create a story. That's why I'm really excited for World Cup mode for FIFA. You'll probably see some series based around that, because you can create a story from FIFA, whereas with Fortnite, the story is the gameplay itself, and you can't do anything to customize anything and like make it your own story. It's just the story of the gameplay. Yeah, I can get into that a little bit more. Thank you guys for joining. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to spay your pets, and goodbye.